Call of Duty have just released a roadmap and blog post detailing everything we're getting for Warzone, Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer, and DMZ for Season 5. Season 5 is launching next Wednesday, August 2nd at 9 AM PT, which should be 5 o'clock in the afternoon here in the UK. And in this video, I'm going to talk you through everything we're getting for DMZ and some of the things that we might be getting in DMZ. Some of it's a little bit ambiguous. Also going to be giving my reactions to it because it's not all positive, let's say. But anyway, let's get on with it. So first of all, we'll kick off with something that might be in DMZ, and that is the brand new vehicles. So we've got 2 new vehicles being added to Warzone. We've got the MRAP and the dirt bikes. I'm hoping these come to DMZ. They seem like they'd be a good fit. The MRAP, which is confusingly titled the Mine Resistant Ambush Protected, then there's no other word. I feel like there should be vehicle or truck or something like that at the end of it. Basically, it's a big armored cargo truck with a turret on the top of it. It will be interesting to see how powerful that turret is, but I can imagine this being useful in DMZ, maybe something like, when you buy the LTV, maybe you could spend a bit more money to get something like this that's got a bit more health, but is a bit less maneuverable, a bit slower maybe, and I can imagine it being used in some missions. That could be kind of cool. But what I'm more excited about is this, the dirt bike. We had a dirt bike in Warzone 1. It was a lot of fun, and then they kind of took it away, then they added it back in, then they took it away again. So I'm not sure if it causes some problems with the engine or something. But these are a lot of fun. I really enjoy this kind of thing. I enjoy sort of being able to scoot around and having all the kind of ridiculous things happening where people are going over jumps and trying to do escapes. I think this could be a lot of fun. It doesn't actually say in the blog post that these are definitely coming to DMZ, but I really hope they are. It would be awesome if they are. But then we can get onto the stuff that is definitely coming to DMZ. Now, it starts off with this kind of weird note that talks about Connie. So for anyone who doesn't know, Connie is another faction in DMZ that the more recent story of DMZ has been talking about. So since we've had Ashika Island, basically, we've had some of the story talking about Connie as this extra group that seem to be attacking everywhere. All the other factions are very angry with them. Anyway, it says in here that they're going to be coming in, attacking everywhere, and we're going to get these new things called active combat zones. So apparently, these are going to be areas where there's higher quality supplies and gear, so I'm guessing orange boxes, but there's going to be kill streaks being called in. So I'm guessing this will be like a circle on the map where at the beginning of the game you can see it somewhere, and then if you want to go in there, you'll be able to get better loot, but you'll have to put up with precision airstrikes, mortars, maybe, I don't know, bomb drones coming in, cluster mines, maybe turrets and things like that. Stuff like that going on, which will make your life hell, but it'll be really good for like a regain or something. I'm assuming that's what that's going to be. It also says all of the cartel have been killed in action within the Koshai complex. It always seemed weird that the cartel were in the Koshai complex. It didn't seem right, like going around this big sort of industrial military complex and seeing people in like sunglasses and t-shirts and things like that when you're wearing night vision goggles. It seemed very, very strange to me. But anyway, apparently Connie are in there. They completely gutted it and found some additional hidden tunnels under the city. So I assume that means maybe the enemies will change in Koshai complex, get different types of enemies with different weapons. Maybe the Rhino and the Sniper will be gone and we'll get some different bosses in there. That would be kind of cool. And it's very interesting when it says additional hidden tunnels under the city. Does that mean the Al Mazrah map's going to get some extra tunnels? Or does it mean that Koshai complex is going to get bigger? I've got absolutely no idea, but that'll probably be what I'll go in and look for as soon as this goes live next Wednesday. They have been teasing the idea of there being extra tunnels under Al Mazrah for quite a while, so I'm kind of interested to see where that goes. It also says they lost Building 21 to the Connie group. With your help, we can get it back. So again, I'm assuming the enemies will change in Building 21. Maybe Velikan won't be there anymore. We'll get a different boss, something like that. I really hope they make it so Building 21 is just open all time, because there's so many people who complain that, they don't play the game at the weekends. They only have time in the week to play it, and they just can't do the missions in Building 21. It seems stupid that it's only ever open at weekends. So it'd be really nice if they changed that, but no real word of that in this blog. It also says that Shadow Company are your friend now. So the Shadow Company AI will not take the first shot on any operator in DMZ exclusion zone, and they'll fight with you against Connie, but friendly fire will not be tolerated. So I'm guessing the Shadow Company AI NPCs that are wandering around, if you don't shoot at them, they won't shoot at you, but they will help you fighting the Connie AI. So that's kind of interesting. It adds an extra layer to DMZ where you have to kind of think about the AI that you're looking at before you shoot them. And if you do choose to shoot them, maybe for a mission or because they have some certain gear, that's going to mean that you've got more enemies fighting you. So that's kind of interesting. I quite like that. It also says that there's going to be new features in the above note and new missions, including urgent missions. It's very hard to get excited about urgent missions because all of them so far are super boring. I had one today that was extract with 8 rounds of ammunition. That's such a stupid mission. That's just ridiculous. Anyway, it says new missions. It'll be interesting to see how they do that. Will we get a new faction maybe? Or will they just add an extra tier to some of the factions? Like maybe we'll get a tier 6 or a tier 7. That could be kind of interesting. But it says that there are new missions coming. Then we've got 4 new features coming to the game as well. 4 kind of new mechanics. The first one is the Disguise Field upgrade. This is something that we actually saw at the beginning of Season 4 of DMZ. I think that's when it went in. And some players found this. I saw lots of videos, lots of screenshots of people finding it. I never actually got around to finding it. I think they took it out of the game before I got around to playing. But I know lots of people were looking for it. It seems like it works exactly how people said it did, that you can put on a disguise and the AI won't pay any attention to you. It says here it's only AI of the same faction, so maybe you're going to have to be a bit careful. Like you get a Connie disguise, you're going to have to be careful about making sure you're just going around those AI, because I guess the Shadow Company AI will shoot you if you're wearing that. It'll also be interesting to see whether it affects other players at all. Like, will it change the way they see you? Will it affect the comms vests? Will it affect UAVs? Will it affect, what comes up when they shoot you? I've got absolutely no idea. But kind of interested to see how that works. That's probably the most interesting new mechanic. Then we've got the Battle Revive, which seems a bit silly to me. It's basically a self-revive, but when you revive, you use Battle Rage automatically. So your health comes back a bit quicker and you have more tactical sprint. I assume you'll also have all the negative effects of Battle Rage, like it making you super, super noisy, which is quite a big disadvantage. So it'll be interesting to see how useful that one is. Then there's also a self-revive box, which just seems like an armor box. You put an armor box down, everyone on your team gets armor. Self-revive box, you put it down, everyone on your team gets a self-revive. Not entirely sure how useful that is. At the moment in DMZ at least, self-revives are super common. Like every time I fight a player, I seem to find like 4 self-revives on their body. They just seem to be everywhere at the moment. Maybe they'll make them less common in boxes and things like that. So then this item will be a little bit more useful. Finally, there's the scuba gas mask. So this is basically just a gas mask that protects you from not only the radiation, but also lets you breathe underwater for a while. Hopefully it won't be like the rebreather, where the rebreather you have to like keep on activating it. It's kind of annoying. And it has a long animation. If you time it wrong, you can die. I think the gas mask will just be a passive thing, where as long as you've got it on, you won't start running out of oxygen until the gas mask is used up. I still don't think that's going to change gameplay very much, really, because I don't think people spend a lot of time underwater. It'll be useful in Koshai Complex to get the keys in that sort of entrance near Tarak Village. I guess it'll be useful for those couple of missions where you have to get stuff from the boats, but not massively useful, not something I think people will be using a lot. And that's basically it for all the things that are confirmed for DMZ. Now, there is a kind of interesting thing here about the Call of Duty 2023 reveal event, where this is obviously going to be happening in, Warzone, essentially the Warzone mode. But it says you join the ranks of Shadow Company to take on the Connie forces and secure a chemical weapon threat before it's too late. I think that's kind of interesting for DMZ players just because it seems to be that this event is tied into the DMZ story. That the DMZ story is kind of bridging Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone with whatever's coming at the end of this year, I guess October, November with Call of Duty 2023. So it might be kind of interesting for DMZ players to do this event. I'm sure lots of people will do it anyway. Normally you get some cool little rewards and things like that for it. And then finally, the last thing that I think is kind of interesting for this is that we're getting new weapons. Now, I have to say, the weapons, I don't know. I don't think they're massively exciting, but obviously these will be in DMZ. So there's the FR Avancer, which is apparently a high rate of fire, high maneuverability assault rifle. Sounds like it's going to have quite a lot of recoil. It says something about it can neutralize targets quickly within a few dozen meters, so kind of a shorter range assault rifle. It feels like we've got loads of high rate of fire assault rifles, but oh well. Then you've also got the Carrack 300 sniper rifle, which is a high maneuverability, high rate of fire sniper rifle. It seems like they really like high maneuverability, high rate of fire things in this season. So, yep, we get a new sniper rifle that looks really short and a bit strange. I'm sure this thing's in Hitman, isn't it? People who know guns, maybe you'll be able to tell me. I'm sure there's a gun that looks like this in Hitman. Anyway, then in season, there's going to be the M13C, which to me looks exactly like the M13B. I'm sure someone would explain to me that it's a very, very different gun, but it looks exactly the same. And then it says later in the season, we're also going to get a new SMG, a sidearm, and a melee weapon. So nothing like super game-changing, nothing super exciting there. But anyway, that is Season 5. This is coming August 2nd, so next Wednesday, 9 AM PT, 5 o'clock in the afternoon in the UK. Of course, I'll be here streaming it. I'll be trying to check out everything that's new in DMZ, looking for these tunnels under Al Mazrah, going into Koshai Complex. Building 21 won't be open, so we can't do that. But trying to look, maybe play with the new vehicles, looking at the new missions, all of that stuff. So make sure you subscribe, turn your notifications on so you get told as soon as I go live. And let me know in the comments, what do you think about all of this? Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.